Hi, everybody. I'm Jacqueline from Yoink Media. I am here to do an overview of the Sacred Heart University Startup Weekend results here. So we've got a real treat for you today. We have the top three placers. Chumu, we've got University Uplift, and Meal Plan. So I am going to go ahead and introduce our Chumu team. You guys can jump up on here. Awesome. Nice to see you guys. We just finished a really intense weekend of community, or like reaching out to your communities and letting them know about the startup that you guys have been pulling together. So if you guys wouldn't mind, before we get into what you guys are doing and the problems you're trying to solve as it relates to COVID, I'd love to just ask you quick questions, a little icebreaker. What is the most important or life-changing piece of advice that you've ever been given? Just give me a 1 to 2 sentence, high-level overview of that. And Jen, I will start with you.
Okay. So I would probably have to say, and this has been advice that's been given to me by several different people over the expanse of my life in some way, shape, or form, but it's the same message, and it's the give first advice. So it's the advice that if you give, then everything will come together, and the world will just work in the ways that you need it to work.
Beautiful. Cecilia, what about you?
Well, definitely listen to my body. Because a lot of times we try to focus on what's better, like because somebody says it's a particular particular diet or a particular advice or someone that we think that might be someone that knows about it, but no, like at the end of the day is what your body, what your energy tells you, how you feel, what you think about it afterwards. So I think that that's something very important that we forget, and we try to focus on whatever everybody else says about what's best for you, right?
Yeah, it sounds like you definitely listen to your body, listen to your intuition. What about you, Paula?
One piece of advice that I think I heard from a lot of people is if your dreams aren't big enough, if your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. And that itself is kind of like scary and kind of pushes me to keep myself focused and keep trying no matter how tired I am.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We've got some insight into your team. So please let our viewers know what you guys have been working on.
Should we give you our elevator pitch?
What was the problem you're trying to solve? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking for.
Okay. I can go ahead and do that if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So given the current situation with COVID-19, people are concerned of the risk of spreading disease from high-touch surfaces. So we are Chumo, and we provide an automated device that attaches on kiosks that will instantly sanitize frequently touched surfaces through the use of an electrostatic spray. We provide businesses with a more cost-efficient cleaning procedure without the need of human labor and reduce the risk of the spread of germs and infections amongst users.
And what does Chumu mean? This was an interesting fact, so if somebody wants to shed some insight here.
Well, it actually means touch, and it's in Chinese. We did change the spelling a little bit of it, but yeah, like we went through like all different languages to see like what would sound better or catchy or whatever. That's what it sticks.
That's a beautiful naming convention there. That's wonderful. I really enjoyed learning that. If you guys could, or ladies, could just let everybody know kind of what your experience with Startup Weekend has been like, and what the from start to finish, just shed some insight on what were the upsides, what were some of the downsides and challenges, and how do you feel after your first place win?
So, Paula V, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So this was actually my first time participating in the Startup Weekend. It was a really great experience. I signed up for it earlier in March, but it got canceled because of COVID. So I took this opportunity as soon as I saw it, and I had a really good time actually, like learning a lot from these two ladies here, and actually working with them too. Also, I think that the biggest struggle that we faced was on my end. I had a lot of technical difficulties, and I learned that like in 54 hours, although it seems like a lot of time, it's not enough. And yeah, the whole business plan and everything, it was really good. It was a really good experience to learn and try to implement and bring an idea to life.
Awesome, thank you. Well, it sounds like you had a learning curve, but I think the rest of the world has a learning curve to adjust to, and your product and your offering sounds like it will help a lot of businesses out there shift into the new, like re-emerging into this new world that we're all about. So I can see your product adding value to a number of different types of businesses. So it's a true pleasure to meet all of you ladies and speak with you here. And I look forward to seeing what you guys can continue to do. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to now pivot over to University Uplift to get some of their insight.
Hello.
Right.
We might have lost my other team members, so might just be me.
Possibly, and it's okay. We're in this new digital world, so sometimes we've got some hiccups going on, but there's a large level of forgiveness that's going on, which is great. So thank you, Charlotte, for being here. And I'm going to throw the same question to you, which is just to give us some insight about you and the qualities that kind of went into University Uplift. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given or life-changing?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go kind of cheesy on this as a hockey player. I'm gonna quote Herb Brooks. He once said, like, if you don't take a risk, you'll forever sit with your dreams. So that's kind of the way I go about, especially entrepreneurship. You just got to get out there and try and start whatever you're dreaming of. So yeah.
Right on. Now, how did you get into entrepreneurship? Like, how did you get here?
So I'm actually a first year at Sacred Heart University. So as soon as I got to college, I was like, I better find a way through this business school to find entrepreneurship outlets. And I was hit with Techstars like halfway through the year, and I was like, of course, I'm interested. So that's kind of how I got involved with entrepreneurship. I worked in a past startup weekend on a company called Level 5, and now I'm kind of working on University Uplift. So yeah.
Amazing. Now tell me, what is University Uplift? I guess give us the elevator pitch, although I don't really like to use the term. So just tell me the story. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so University Uplift is an e-commerce platform mobile app that we can connect students into a marketplace where they can buy, shop, and sell within the community at their own campus. So we offer a safe way for students to shop, along with being shipping free, because obviously everybody's in the same place. We also want to offer students a way for them to make extra cash, pursue their entrepreneurship dreams, have a small business on the side, and also be able to buy affordable products during their college experience. So yeah, that's kind of our elevator pitch.
That sounds so cool. Tell me a little bit about your competitive landscape and why you guys are different than what's out there.
Yeah, so there are a lot of marketplaces. It's definitely a crowded space to be in, but we do something different than everybody else. We are being safe. We're getting rid of the shipping, the struggles of being a shipping platform. So we got Etsy out there, Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, Curtsy. The list kind of goes on and on of companies that are trying to do similar things. But we're trying to address the problems and create somewhere where the students feel like they actually belong and that the products are actually for them, and that people would actually be interested in the things that they're selling. Because obviously, if the college student is selling their product, and their market should be another college student who would also be interested in that similar product. So yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like a really inclusive tool, or a platform rather, with a lot of areas to kind of diversify across. So that's super cool. So give me some insight into how this weekend was from start to finish, and feel free to speak on behalf of your team. I know they were here before. There might be some technical difficulties, but we have to work through that. So tell us how it feels to come out as a second place finisher, not far behind first, and give us your feedback.
Yeah, for sure. Going into the weekend, I kind of just had this idea, and I was like, hopefully I have an amazing team that can help me put together what I'm like envisioning here. So when you first get into that Zoom call with your team, you're like, this is awkward. We kind of went around and introduced ourselves, and I started to notice that everybody had this different skill set and different personality that we could bring together to create a really great team, which is what we did. We had Sean, who was here earlier, who was our web developer, and he was able to create an actual functioning demo of our app, which was amazing. We also had Daniel, who created our landing page and was able to be on the tech side of marketing and stuff. And then we had Fabienne, who was able to coordinate for us, make sure that we were staying on our tasks, kind of be our business strategist along the way. And we also had Toby, who acted as customer discovery, and he was able to, between me and him, we were able to post Instagram polls and get 100 people, students from 35 different universities that were ready to sign up and be a part of what we were doing. So I was blown away by this weekend, and I think my team was too. So we're actually going to be meeting next week to start working on University Uplift.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Charlotte. We cannot wait to see what you guys are able to do. We are here as a resource for you. Everybody, I'm speaking on behalf of the entire Yoink Media. So keep doing what you're doing. The world needs more entrepreneurs and innovators like you. So we really appreciate you trying to move the needle in a certain direction. So thank you very much. And at this point, we're going to pivot over to meal plan, because you guys have something cool going on as well. So if we can get you guys up here and speak with you. There we go. All right. I think, are we? All right, guys. Thank you for being here. We've got a stacked team here, so this is great to see. All right, and I am going to ask you guys the same thing as I've asked the other teams, which is just to introduce yourself. What is the most life-changing piece of advice, best piece of advice you've ever been given? Just sum it up in a sentence or two. So Richard, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Jen hit on give first, so I'm gonna give you something else. My success coach, Lexi, she helped me realize that us as entrepreneurs, we're all pro athletes, right? Pro athletes train all day long to perform for 1 hour if they're playing a game, to perform for 30 seconds if they're sprinting, and they put good food in their body, they get rest, they have coaches, they work out. And us as entrepreneurs, we do the same thing, but we do it for 8 hours. We do it for 12 hours. We do it for 16 hours at a time. We show up to our client calls. We show up to our partner calls. We show up to investor calls, and we have to be 110% just like pro athletes. So we need to take care of ourselves as entrepreneurs as well, just like pro athletes do. So we need to have that mindset.
Thank you. As an athlete myself, I totally get it. And it was an easy shift from athletics into the business world once someone showed me the ropes, because it is very similar. The rigor and the discipline that you need in order to create a lifestyle and a business is unparalleled. It's unbelievable. So I will hand off the baton to whoever wants to go next. Ismail, how about you?
Yeah, so I would say like a Native American saying, and it's about like how we are coping with the world, and so we inherit. We don't inherit this world from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. I think it's well known in the States. So I'm basically located in the Netherlands, so it was really nice. So I'm a little bit tired, but it was really nice doing this journey of 54 hours. It has been amazing, and I think from that saying, you could, if you have a startup, it has to be purpose driven. So that I don't want to take too much time. Sorry.
Can you repeat the saying one more time?
So that it's purpose driven. So a purpose driven startup that you are solving global issues, not just and not just for the money thing. So not the economy. So it's was it people, planet, profit, and then it became the 5 P's: people, planet, prosperity, and now it's also peace and partnership. So the 5 P's. So also tend to really like this past years I've been like presenting about circular economy, and so more the awareness raising, and now like finally yeah, this is I think the third track I've did so far this year. So yeah, it's the first like international one, so it was really nice.
Fantastic. So, what the takeaway that I've got there is purpose driven, and we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children, or we from our children. So, thank you. Very well said. Khalid.
Yeah. So the best piece of advice I would say I'll get is that, I mean, like, if you have a dream, you need to work on your dream if you're really passionate about it. It's okay if you can have a dream, but to turn into a reality, you really need to go for it. And it doesn't matter how you progress about it, either slow or fast, you need to keep working on it so that it will turn into reality one day.
So persistence pays off, and I couldn't agree any more than that. Showing up and doing the work is half the battle, right? And last but not least, our lone soldier here, Nick, if you would just to give us some insight.
Yeah, if you fail and learn, so that is not a failure, it's an experience.
Always, and I think that's a perfect piece of advice. If yeah, every experience is a learning experience, no matter how fruitful or fruitless they can be or seem. At the end of the day, they're always for the betterment of who we are as people. I follow that mentality as well. Okay, so tell me what this idea is about. Tell me what you guys have been working on.
Yeah, Khalid, do it.
You can explain it better, Richard. You could go.
Oh, I'm gonna make you do it. Go for it.
It's a meal plan delivery service. So it's different than other services in a way that we help the busy professionals who don't have time and energy to spend to look for the meal every day, to order through different delivery services, and then sometimes they get what they don't like. So we are taking care of all those elements for them, and we are offering them a meal plan with the scheduling capability, so that and they will tell their preferences and what they like and their favorite restaurant, which is local, and they like to eat there. And then we set up delivery for them, and then they get their meal and their scheduled time.
Cool, thank you. Can we hear one more overview from one of the team members here? Nick.
Well, actually, meal plan is a service where you can plan your meal for your whole week, and you schedule it, and you'll get every day, 1 or 2 times a day, your hot food fresh at your door. So you don't need to do this every day before your lunch or before your dinner. You just bought the meals and you enjoy.
How is this different than somebody like Blue Apron? I think that's
a great question.
what they're called.
We looked at, so the problem we were really trying to solve is how do we get convenient meals in front of busy people, right? All of us are crazy busy, and how do we make sure we're fed? And back to my point, how do we treat ourselves like pro athletes? How do we make sure we get the nutrition and the food that we need to perform 110% all the time? And we looked at the different meal delivery services, meal plans, and stuff like that. And we realized there's 2 big categories. The Blue Apron category is the meal kits. They show up at your doorstep every week. You have your vegetables, you have your meats, you have your grains, and you have to take that. They're pre-portioned, sure. There's recipes, sure. But you have to take that and actually make the meal. So 30 minutes, 40 minutes, may take an hour of time investment, of energy to actually go and cook for yourself and make that meal. And the other category we found was the uninspired TV dinners, right? The freshly type of things that you microwave for 3 minutes, very convenient, and you have food that you can eat, but it's frozen food or it's refrigerated food. And so we're like, that convenience is very nice, but how do we provide something that's nutritious and delicious and good for you? And as a awesome thing, support local restaurants as well. So we're using that model of very convenient meal delivery service, 5 meals, 10 meals, 15 meals, whatever your needs are. We'll work with local restaurants and fulfillment partners to make sure that the meals that end up at your doorstep at 12 o'clock for lunch and 6 o'clock for dinner isn't frozen meals, but you'll get hot, fresh restaurant meals just in time for lunch and dinner.
Cool. And just to top this off here, I mean, first of all, the whole meal industry and restaurant industry and everything right now is in a topsy-turvy loop-de-loop. So anybody who's trying to make sense of the area right now is fantastic, in my opinion. There's a lot of food providers and people who need food, who need groups and teams like yours to figure out the tough solutions. And so you guys are right on it. So thank you so much. Can you just give me some insight about what this overall weekend has been? If you were to sum it up in like one word, what has this weekend been like for you, going through the entrepreneurial journey from start to finish? Some of you either have gone through it before or this is the first time. Just give me one word to sum it up. And Richard, we'll start with you, then we'll go to Ismail, Nick, and then Khalid. So Richard?
Life-changing, and that's one word because there's a hyphen. As an
Great. All right, Ismail?
Compassion and compassion.
Nick?
One long day of 52 hours.
So never ending. Okay. Khalid.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right. We had a full range there. That I think each of you spoke to different parts of the human heart there. So I appreciate your feedback. And anybody who wants to get more involved with you guys, just let our viewers know how.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can visit us on our website, mealplan.restaurant. And the coolest thing we were able to do this weekend was actually launch on Saturday during lunchtime, noontime. And we actually have paying customers using our meal plan service to get them the meals that they need to fuel themselves. So we're launched and we're scaled globally, and we can reach you wherever you are. So you can actually sign up for Meal Plan right now at mealplan.restaurant, which is really, really cool and really awesome.
Awesome. All right, we lost Richard there, but that's okay. That was perfect timing. So as Nick stated, this was one long day of 52 hours, and I have a feeling that most people in the show today could agree. I've been through this myself, so I understand, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time and keep being awesome. And again, we're here for you as Yoink Media, as resources for you and some cheerleaders. So thank you for taking the time, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, and for all of our viewers, of course. Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for chatting and doing this. It's been really awesome. We had a great weekend, and I'm sure you'll hear more from us.
Sounds good, guys. And as a last minute call out for all of the entrepreneurs out there, this is the time to dive in and really innovate from the ground up and from your heart. If you are out there and you see a problem in your community, there's a whole network out there who can help you. You might not know it, but all you have to do is ask some of the business owners in your area where they got started, what sorts of resources are available, and just keep making change. That's what we're all about as entrepreneurs. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we're going to wrap up here, and we'll see you next time.